Okay, let's go. Let's talk about some routing and Aux Sends. Two methods here. We see the one on the screen. We see all of our Aux Sends, which we control, and then our Aux Masters and Sends on faders. Talk to us about that.
So on your input channels, like he's saying, you have the ability to individually control mix at a time. So say I'm working with the drums right now. I'm working with everybody with the drums. I can come up and be like, okay, Sue wants it louder in her vocal mix. I can scroll down real quick and adjust multiple drums at a time on her mix. Or I could come over to the vocal mix on this side, select it, and it flips everything on the input side into the fader flip mode, which means now I can adjust only her mix, but I could adjust all the instruments at one time for just her mix.
When you have those Aux Masters selected, whatever you're doing on the faders is what's going to her ears.
Yes. But you can also come in on these guys and say you're working on bass for everybody. I can touch on the knob itself, and now the 8 knobs I have are the sends to the individual mixes. So currently I see Vox, Vox long, the reverbs, the drum verb, and then I've got up to the drum or vocal 1 masters mapped to these knobs currently. So that's a way that, okay, I'm working on bass right now with everybody on stage. Oh, electric guitar wants more of it in his mix. Bass wants more in his mix, always. Keys wants a little bit of bass in her mix.
Vocalist wants no bass.
Yeah, vocalist wants nothing. That's a quick way to go and adjust multiple people's mixes without having to flip through their individual faders.
Right. Explain to us pre-fade and post-fade. How do we change it? What's it for?
So to access the auxiliary features of the aux mix, pre-fade is meaning you're setting the level in the mix before the fader. Post-fade, anything you adjust with the fader is adjusting what's being sent to the mix. And then you have another one that's pre-mute, which I believe is still sent, but if you mute it in the house, it's not muting in the ears.
Right.
And to adjust those, you would hold down this second button, and you can adjust to pre-fade, pre-mute, or post-fade. This is also how you would adjust the pan function for all the stereo mixes. You would hold down...
To an aux, yep.
And you would hold down the second button and spin the knob, and that adjusts where it's being sent into the actual mix.
So let's say the drummer says, I would like the guitarist, we have 2 guitarists, one over here, and the drummer wants the guitarist to be panned out in his ears. So we can come here and we will scroll up to select the drum mix. So now we're controlling the drums. We see the highlighted ring there on the drum mix. And let's see, here's the electric guitars. They are currently panned. Okay, so if I want to pan them differently, I can hold the second function down and adjust them. It's currently linked to the master pan as well, so it follows that. That's how you can control panning to a stereo aux for the mixes. Great. Tell us how to do a mute and a hard mute, what a hard mute is for.
So a regular mute, again, you're just going to be pressing these buttons, and when they turn red, that's muted, and audio is not going to pass to your main PA.
That's right, and you see that on the screen, just above the name, you see the red mute box lit.
In order to do a hard mute, you're going to hold down the second function and touch that same button, and you're going to see it's going to start flashing red.
For that hard mute to apply, you have to have that bank of faders assigned to the screen. Okay, just to say that really quick. You have to have that fader assigned to the screen, then do the second function in the mute.
Correct.
That will enact the hard mute. Tell us what it's for.
Now, no matter how many times I push this button, it is not going to come unmuted. So that's useful for like we have the oscillator on this page, and like something that you're never going to want to have live in the middle of a show, you can hard mute that, and then if you have a snapshot recalled where it was up at a certain point and you saved it, it's going to be muted in that snapshot no matter what you recall or what.
Let's say we're in the show and the drummer hits tom 3 and now the microphone is broken. Okay, I want to mute that for the rest of the show because it's crackling and making all kind of noise. Okay, I come in and hard mute it rather than if I mute it now and then if I have my next snapshot and it's unmuted, it's going to keep coming back on and crackling. I can hard mute it and now it won't come back on during each next snapshot. It's hard muted. And so until I come back in and do that second function and release that mute, you're not signed, it's not going to unmute until I do that second function. And then I have,
now you have full control over it again.
Right. Okay, great.